I'm having a really hard time trying to sum up my thoughts on Avengers Endgame, let alone try to come up with a review of it. And I mean that in the best possible way because this is by far one of the best Marvel movies, one of the best comic book movies that I've ever seen. And the fact that I'm struggling to talk about it even after seeing it twice in theaters has got to be the best testament I can give because it is just that exciting and intense and entertaining itself as a movie, by far the most entertaining movie that I've seen all year, that it's just really hard for me to talk about it. And I'm not used to giving away spoilers despite the fact that it's been a week and it's probably already gonna make $2 billion by the time I'm finished done with this video. See, I can't even make a correct sentence at this point. Wow. I had to throw in something Marvel in there. Give me a break. And I really wanted to make a video about Endgame because it's been like 4 weeks or something since I made a review, and that's mostly just because nothing really that good or interesting for me has really come out lately. Everybody said that 2018 was the dry run for movies. Have you seen what's coming out lately? You got the Aladdin remake, Ugly Dolls just came out. Thank God the trailers got my hopes up a little bit higher because Gemini Man looks like it has a cool idea, has some pretty badass action scenes, some good effects for blending in two Will Smiths together. The thing is, both those Will Smiths sound corny as hell. Seriously, what direction was Ang Lee giving him? Did I say I was excited? Oh yeah, I was, because Godzilla King of Monsters looks huge in scale, and I'm really excited about that. The Lion King remake, yes, it looks like a shot for shot remake. Do I care? Not especially, because Jon Favreau did such a great job at adding new layers to the Jungle Book, and based on what the actors and the crew are saying about this one, how they're adding a few more elements that we didn't get from the original, sound a lot interesting, especially with Scar, who in this trailer, his narration made it sound like he was going for the tragic villain who feels like he had stuff taken away from him just by being born second. I'm still not entirely sold on Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar. I don't know if he's as intimidating in a vocal standpoint, but even he's admitted that. But you know what? I'm just gonna have to wait and see. And plus, it's Seth Rogen as Pumbaa. That's some interesting standards there. And of course, seeing a preview for Rise of Skywalker in theaters, that gets your blood pumping, gets your heart racing. Just, I'll give you the money as soon as I can for those tickets. But yeah, I want to get super in-depth into Endgame about the characters, the action scenes, the scale and scope that the Russo brothers managed to accomplish, the fact that there were some tragic elements in movies where usually end on an uplifting note, even when some side characters that matter a lot to the main characters do end up dying, or certain goals that they try to accomplish they never do. Things that people on Twitter can never seem to shut up about, even though there's always an explanation for it. Gotta love those people, don't you? But for some reason, I just can't get myself to do it. It just feels weird. Even when I'm talking with people who have already seen it about it, I can't really get super into detail, even though I want to just as much. And I have absolutely no idea if it's because I've been out of the game for a few weeks, but then again, I was out of it for a couple months and I came back pretty decently, at least I would certainly hope so. If I didn't, just let me know down there. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it is that's going on. You should totally see Avengers Endgame in theaters at least once. It is worth it just for the experience. The climax is one of the absolute best climaxes in movies you'll ever see because it gives you everything you want to at that point, and it build up to so much that it's worth it in the end. The pacing felt a lot better the second time around because the first time you see it, you just sit there going, these scenes are essential, but what's it amounting to? And then when you see what it amounts to, it's just like, okay, that's great, that's worth it. And if you hear anything about how the uninitiated might not be into a movie like this, well, as somebody once said, it's like reading the 22nd chapter of a book and getting disappointed that they didn't tell you anything else. I tried that once in high school, it didn't work. There are only like 3 movies this year so far that I think were great that I've seen anyways. And in those order, number 3 is Fighting With My Family. That was a really good family drama. and comedy as well. Number 2 was Us, which is an extremely multi-layered horror movie that did a really good job. I loved it a lot more than Get Out. And of course, number 1, Endgame, because it gives you everything you've wanted, and after all these years, it was a really good payoff. Well, guys, thanks for sitting through that rambling over whatever I just talked about. I want to talk a little bit more about how this year hasn't been the greatest year for movies, but how it's not the end of the world for it. I will be making that video shortly. Be sure to stay tuned on my channel for it. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out my other reviews here and at KnowPerfectMovie.com. And once again, thank you all very much for watching. Take care.